Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So a few days ago, I don't know when it will be by the time you see this video, I actually shared the new travel protocols as shared by the Nigerian government for vaccinated travelers and unvaccinated travelers. I shared that video with you detailing what exactly is going on, what exactly are the specific rules. If you haven't seen that video, click the link, I guess probably here, and you can check that video out. I received a lot of questions on my YouTube, comments, and also on the Travel to Niger Instagram page. There were a lot of comments there too. If you're not following Travel to Niger, definitely check it out. It's an amazing resource for information for travelers coming to Nigeria. So I received a lot of information, and I guess a lot of people were still a little bit confused with regard to what the answers to some simple questions were. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering all your important questions because no question is stupid, right? So let's dive in. Okay, so I have the questions saved here in one of my albums on my phone. I'm going to pull it out and we're going to go through it together in no particular order. So the first comment is on Instagram from Mario 10514. He said, what changed is the same as before. Technically, it's not the same as before, but I understand where he's coming from, and you will see that with some of the other answers that I'll give for the other questions. Next question. Dirks by 70 commented, and do you need again to pay for the PCR test in advance online for after 2 days of arrival? So you may not be aware, but in the travel protocols, it's clearly stated that for vaccinated travelers now have to do a day 2 test. He's asking whether or not he has to pay in advance before he boards his flight to Nigeria to pay for this test. Yes, most likely you will have to, because the government does not trust that you guys will do it on arrival. So most likely there's going to be a process before. XOXO Suzanne said, does this mean if you're vaccinated, you don't have to do the day 7 test, just the day 2 test? Yes, with regard to the test that you do in Nigeria, vaccinated travelers only have to do day 2, no longer day 7. Next question. Supercal_2004 comments, for fully vaccinated passengers flying into Lagos, we now have to do a COVID test on day 2 of arrival. What about day 7? Does that still stand in place as well, or is no longer valid? Similarly to the question before, it's no longer valid. Day 7 is asked for vaccinated travelers. Next question, Cheryl23 and EN says, so I have to get a PCR test to come into Nigeria. Then I have to do a day 2 test. Then I have to test again before I leave Nigeria to travel back to the US. I would say more than Nigeria is profiting for all this. This is not really a question, but I guess just a comment to say that it's a lot of tests. Next question, I am Sonia 90 comments, do fully vaccinated people have to do a COVID test before arriving in Nigeria? I'm sure many of you are aware that obviously in the UK, now if you're fully vaccinated, traveling from Nigeria to the UK, you no longer need to do a PCR test. In the case of Nigeria, you have to do a PCR test before you leave the country coming into Nigeria. So yes, you do, even though you've been vaccinated, have to do a COVID test before arriving in Nigeria. Next question, Maya's Extra. So no need for permit to travel again, or do we still need to fill that out? 100% you still need to fill that out. I feel like when they were putting this update protocols and sharing press releases, they were just trying to give you guys the quick snapshot changes, but all the other requirements are still going to be required, because that's the, you need to declare COVID is still on. So you still need to go onto the NITP, that's the Nigeria International Travel Portal, to register before travel. Yes, you need to fill it out. Next questions. Another person, E_A_S, you see it on screen, said, to be clear, fully vaccinated people don't need tests to fly into Nigeria, right? Thanks. I mentioned that before. You do, even though you've been fully vaccinated. Everyone coming to Nigeria, except you're a child under 10 or you're a diplomat, has to do a pre-departure PCR test within 72 hours of your flight. Next question, very valid question here. Martin J. Coling 10 says, are all vaccines from all countries accepted? To be honest, I would say yes, right? Definitely yes, accepted. And the reason why I'm saying it's accepted is because even though you've been vaccinated, you still need to do the pre-departure test and the test on day 2. But yes, I believe that all vaccines from all countries are accepted to be qualified as vaccinated in Nigeria. I doubt Nigeria will go deep into that, but by next week, when all this information sort of comes into effect, I believe that the government might release another document that is detailing specifically, but I doubt it, but maybe. And if they do that, I'm going to leave the link to that document in the description box, so make sure you look out for it next week. Osita Osai on YouTube left us comment. Thank you, Sassy Funke, for your timely updates. Testing 72 hours before boarding, 2 days after arrival, and 7 days after is just too much. Why does the Nigerian government enjoy punishing their citizens? God will surely help us. So I guess his question is, is the government basically punishing citizens? First of all, the scenario that he described there is for unvaccinated travelers, right? Having to do day 2 and day 7, right? And why does the government enjoy punishing their citizens? I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, right? COVID is still real, even though people are tired and exhausted about it, the whole thing. A lot of people are comparing us to the UK. We don't have the level of healthcare like the UK. We don't have as many people vaccinated as a percentage like the UK. So I guess the government is just trying to be extremely careful, or I want to believe that the government is just trying to be extremely careful that, a slip, because December is coming. There's going to be a lot of influx of people coming to Nigeria. And if something bad happens, how are they going to control all that, right? So I guess they're trying to be on the overly cautious side. I know some of you guys will say, it's a money play, Funke. It's a money play. Maybe it is, because who knows what goes on between. But I think, benefit of a doubt, it could also be a safety play. Yeah, so next question. Bongus Eze-san said, thank you so much for the update you provide, Sassy. Please, if someone is fully vaccinated, do they still need to do a PCR test before? Yes, they do. Adebayo Adepoju comments, the day 2 test will be when? Second day after arrival. Yes, it's going to be the second day after arrival. So I believe the day you're arriving is day 0, and the next day is day 1, and the next day after that is day 2. Samantha Harrison leaves this comment. My question is, a fully vaccinated person, after the 2 days COVID test, do you still need to do the 7 days COVID test? No, you don't. Sorry, this is a bit repetitive, but I don't think there's any more repetitive like this anymore. Sharon Anjuri says, thank you for all the info, but do I still need to fill out the portal? Yes, you do. Sassy Funke, for fully vaccinated persons arriving Nigeria, if they have to do the PCR test in or within day 2 of arrival, my question is, who pays for this test? Extremely valid question, right? I think no one should make any assumptions to feel like people should know who pays for the test, but I am 1,000% that you are paying for the test, because the Nigerian government is not going to pay for the test for you, right? So that you should know, that they're not going to pay for the test. Because as far as they're concerned, travel is probably a leisure activity for you, and if you want to go leisure traveling during a pandemic, that you should pay for it. So most likely you're going to pay for it. Final question, good news, and that's where it ends. The government is yet to update its travel portal to reflect these changes. No information regarding the day 2 test, and no one knows where and how to get it booked. More confusion than there were already. Okay, so this isn't a statement, but I'll make it into a question, right? So why hasn't the government basically given information about this day 2 test? I want to believe 100% that because the test is not, because the trainings are not coming into effect until the 25th next week, then they probably won't update it until then. So I'm sure by then there's going to be a lot of clarity with regard to when you can do, as in, there's going to be more clarity with regard to all the elements that he mentioned. So guys, I really hope this video has been super useful. I think it definitely covers the gist of all the questions that you guys had with regard to the new travel protocols. I'm sure by next week, we're gonna have a lot more information. If it's something juicy enough, I'll do a video about it. If it's not, I'll make sure the team puts it on Travel to Niger Instagram page. So make sure you're following Travel to Niger so that you can keep updated and be in the know with what's going on with regard to travel during this COVID times. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. Give this video a huge thumbs up, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.